Hi, my name is Amit Basole. I'm a faculty member at Azim Premji University, where I also work at the Center for Sustainable Employment. Our State of Working India 2023, the report that we are just coming out with, the fourth of its kind, has the theme Social Identities and Labour Market Outcomes. This year, we are taking a long view since the 1980s and analyzing what has happened to caste, gender, religion-based disparities in economic outcomes over this period. As the Indian economy has grown, as structural change has happened, as people have left agriculture, as the number of regular salaried jobs has risen, which groups have been able to avail of new opportunities to a greater extent, and where do the challenges remain? Overall, we find that since the 1980s and particularly since 2004, there have been big changes in the Indian economy, and many of them of a positive kind, meaning that long-running social disparities seem to be finally reducing with economic growth, although there are many challenges that also remain. The report deals specifically with India's structural change story, meaning what has been the pace of exit from agriculture of workers, or what has been the pace of creation of formal jobs, both at the all India level and at the level of Indian states. We also put India in cross-country perspective and see how has India's capacity to generate jobs with economic growth been, how does it stack up next to other comparable developing countries. Then we go on in the next chapter to take a more detailed look at women's employment. What are the factors that determine whether women are in paid work or not, whether they work outside the home or not, and things like that. After that, we take an in-depth look at the type of work, self-employment, regular salaried work, casual work, and so on, and find or look at the determinants of who does what kind of work and how that has changed over time. So we find evidence, for example, of an increase in the probability of women to do salaried work, which my colleague Rosa Abraham will discuss in more detail in a separate video. We also find that caste-based industrial and occupational segregation seems to have reduced a little over time, although a lot still remains to be done over there. In addition, the earnings gaps, meaning the gap between what men earn and what women earn, seems to have also reduced over time. These are all the various kinds of snippets I'm giving you of the different chapters in the report and the kinds of themes that they deal with. One chapter towards the end also takes a detailed look at the measurement challenges in estimating things like employment, whether women work or not. How can surveys be improved in measuring things like this? And we know that there are well-known problems in capturing the type of work or whether people work or not when we do surveys. Overall, the report has tried to present a comprehensive look at economic outcomes as they relate to these social identities and identity-based disparities, and it has tried to do so over a long period of time since the 80s, focusing relatively more on the last 2 decades or so. This year's report, as with the previous reports, has been a large collaborative exercise involving many people here at Azim Premji University as well as elsewhere. The reason that we have been doing this report as well as the previous one is we feel that a detailed and in-depth analysis of India's employment situation on an ongoing basis is vital to formulating good economic policy that can meet one of our biggest challenges, which has been a challenge in the last few decades but also continues to be one, which is providing decent, productive work opportunities for all Indians. The report is available for download at www.azimpremjiuniversity.edu.in.